Hey guys, welcome back to another, I guess you can call it a casual commentary video. It's been a while since I did a tier list one, and I thought because a lot of you enjoy watching these old history kind of nostalgic type videos, I wanted to make a tier list on all of the removed items in League and to see which ones should be brought back, which ones might need a couple changes if they want to be brought back, and which ones should stay removed until the end of time. So full disclosure, I've only been around since the beginning of Season 5, late Season 4, but I did do the best I could to look back on some of the older items to see like what the context was with them, the history, and I guess the implications of what those items had in the beginning, or like back in the day. But for some of the items, especially like the super old ones, I'm just going to be going off of like an educated guess on what I think the item would do if it was brought back in the current state of the game. Now, this is mostly inspired off of the removal of mythic items. I don't remember exactly when they're taking it away, I think it's going to be in Season 14, but they're taking away mythic items. And at first I tried to be optimistic about it. I tried to be like, oh, mythic items might present a very interesting twist to the game, but I think with all the empirical data, it's safe to say that mythic items caused more harm than good when it came to item diversity. In fact, there's less item diversity than ever before. So I thought maybe that's like a good reason for me to bring back this kind of video where we can see, could some of the old items be brought back to encourage more item diversity or builds and different like off-meta strategies that aren't blatantly trolls? Who knows? Before we talk about the olden days of when League was actually fun, let's talk about something new. Dungeon Hunter is back with their 6th installment in the series. For those who don't know, Dungeon Hunter is a game franchise that's been around since 2015. It's a free-to-play mobile action RPG with a unique hero collector feature centered around fast-paced hack-and-slash combat with various builds and skills for each character. It's completely free-to-play, which you can check out using the QR code on screen or link in the description. The shining feature of this game is that you can actually turn bosses you kill into summons or mounts for future fights, where they can perform combo skills and you can even transform into them yourself, which may actually be the first time I've seen a game that was built around turning bosses into mounts and weapons. That's pretty cool. Despite being a mobile game, Dungeon Hunter 6 is some of the best 3D graphics and performance with really cool skill animations optimized for multicasting, so you don't have to deal with any clunky or laggy graphics like you would on other games. As for other features involved, you can play with guildmates in real-time guild wars and battles, grind up skill tree options to test different builds, and there's even an auction system in the game, so you can buy and sell items with other players. As part of the newest installment, they're offering a special starter pack worth $50 containing 10 pulls, 1 SSR character, the Demonic Wolf, and an accessory pack, which you can get by once again using the QR code on screen or my link in the description. They're also hosting a Lucky Spin event for free, giving away stuff like an iPhone 15 Pro Max, a PS5, and an Apple Watch. So now's as good a time as any to download this game and give it a try. Thanks to Dungeon Hunter 6 for sponsoring the video, but for now, back to some old nostalgia. So let's begin here. There's a mixture of current items and old ones. I'm mostly going to focus on the old ones. If there's like an old version of the item, like after it got significantly reworked, then I'll cover that. For example, let's say Namicon used to have a completely different function back in the day. So here are the tiers. We have bring back as is, bring back but with a change or two. Not sure. This category will be mostly for items that were like so far back that I don't think I can really come to a conclusion on. And then the other half of it being only after significant change or don't bring back. Okay, first item will be Abyssal Scepter. Abyssal Mask is still in the game. It's obviously recolored and has a very different effect than what it used to be, but I'm not gonna put every single item here, that would take too long. Abyssal Scepter, I'm gonna say don't bring back because this was supposed to be the original AP magic resist item, but it has since been superseded by Banshee's Veil, which I think is a better AP magic resist item to have on a mage, since you don't really care so much about the MR, you care more about the spell shield. Adaptive Helm, I'm gonna say don't bring back as well, because Force of Nature seems to be a more practical version of Adaptive Helm. That's basically what Force of Nature is, and I think having both of them would be rather redundant. I believe this is going to be the Alacrity enhancement for boots. I want this back. I think getting rid of enchantments on boots was the worst decision they could have ever made. Granted, they are just stats if we think about it, right? Like they don't do anything beyond just giving a small token buff to the boots. But considering the boots are like the least important item aside from just the movement speed they provide, which for some champions is still valuable, I think having the ability to give an enhancement to boots is a good one to have. Like, okay, you know, most people they went for home guards, right? That was the enchantment of choice. But I personally enjoyed Furor, the red one. I believe Furor was the similar to Rage, where like damage with single target attacks or abilities gives you decaying movement speed. I like that one a lot too, and of course Alacrity, just giving 20 more movement speed. I think there was no reason for them to take it out of the game. I can see that there was no reason for them to keep it in the game, but you know, I mean, it could have been a good way for you to just add a bit more spice to boots, you know what I mean? Next one's going to be, this is the Ancient Pocket Watch, I believe, but because this is not a completed item, or it's not like a pretty significant one, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna skip a couple of the items that don't really have any main kind of, or any like big impact to it. Now I believe this one's Arcane Helix. It gave 400 health, 300 mana, 10% cooldown reduction, and you healed for a portion of the mana spent. This was essentially a souped up version of the Rod of Ages, like healing thing, whatever. I'm gonna say probably don't bring back because that conflicts with the goal of Rod of Ages. No one's gonna really care about buying this. Then we have Odins Unholy Grail, which is, okay, there's that new item, the Echoes of Helia, which is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Odins Unholy Grail, so I'm going to put this away too. If there's a modernized version of any of the removed items, then I'm going to be like, we'll go with the modernized version. That is Atma's Reckoning. No, that's Atma's Impaler. I kind of want this back, not gonna lie. Yes, we have Titanic Hydra, but this is not really so much of a Titanic Hydra. It doesn't really have the same kind of function as Titanic Hydra because this one gives armor and crit chance in exchange for the bonus attack damage equal to your maximum health. Now the reason why I wanted to add this back, despite it being a very dangerous item to bring back due to the Atma's Warmog strategy, main reason being is because I want Avarice Blade back, which is, where the hell is it? Wait, where is it? Am I blind? Hang on, there's no Avarice Blade. Okay, I guess this tier list is broken. Well, oh no, it's down here. What the hell is it doing down here? No wait, this is an Avarice Blade. That's friggin'... That's Sword of the Divine. Where the hell's the Avarice Blade? Oh man, it's not here. Okay, I guess for placeholder purposes then, we will, let me just put this back. Where was this? I'll put that here. Do I really not see Avarice Blade? This is in alphabetical order, so it should be up here. Okay, then I guess we'll use this then, for the time being. So Avarice Blade, I kind of liked it actually. It is a really, really stupid item because it encourages AFK farming, right? Because you get more gold per 10 seconds, you get more gold upon killing or like last hitting minions. But I actually kind of liked it, and Avarice Blade built into Atma's Impaler. You know, it might be an unpopular opinion. I might put this like here instead, but it might be a good option for people who want to like turtle up and farm for late game. Atma's Reckoning, I'm not sure about this one. So I know they're kind of more or less the same, with the only difference being that you get bonus crit chance as opposed to bonus attack damage. But I don't think AD carries would care to build this, and I don't even think Yasuo or Yona would want to build this. Maybe they do? So I guess I could put it there, but I'll leave it here for the time being. Banner of Command, only after significant change. I do think that Banner of Command has a purpose to be in League, but with all the fiasco that happened with Banner of Command, I don't think it's going to be that good for the game if it came back as is. So there needs to be a very significant change to the item. Next item is going to be Blackfire Torch. I'm pretty sure the Blackfire Torch is it's basically Deathfire Grasp, which is where. So I guess we'll leave Blackfire Torch here. Okay, I guess then in that case we'll use this one because we're missing so many icons. Deathfire Grasp, I actually think we should bring back as this. I know that's kind of a hot take. This item has definitely made a couple champions a little too overpowered for their own good, but I think given how overpowered the game is, because the game has power crept a bit, I think that Deathfire Grasp does have a place in the meta. It could work, right? Because we already have something similar to that in the form of, I guess, what was that one? There's like one item that increases damage dealt to a specific champion. Whatever, you get what I mean. I think that this item definitely could come back to the game. Next item is going to be... what the heck is this one again? This one is Blink Dagger. No, that's not going to count. A bunch of like component items, I suppose, which it's going to be hard to like judge every single item. It's going to be a long video, I think. I might split this off into 2 parts, I'm not sure. This one's going to be, I forget what this one is. This one is the Bloodletter's Curse. The way it works is it gives 70 ability power, 15 ability haste, 30 armor, 30 magic resist. Whenever you deal magic damage to an enemy champion, you stack something on them for up to 6 stacks, and it reduces their magic resist by up to 30%, I believe. This would be, I believe, the modern day equivalent of Abyssal Mask. Abyssal Mask has a similar thing. So I might actually just put this here. Next item is going to be Feral Flare. Oh lord. Feral Flare. This is an interesting one because we already had Feral Flare in the form of Devour. The way Feral Flare works is that I believe basic attacks deal bonus magic damage on hit and heals for, and then you heal afterwards. And it gives a small amount of attack damage and bonus attack speed. I believe Feral Flare can stack indefinitely, so you can get a crap ton of magic damage. I think maybe we can bring back with a change or two. I do think that the whole notion, like they've really discouraged the notion of power farming in the jungle because they feel like it's not very interactive and it's also very volatile, right, back in the State of Devour meta. But some junglers power farm anyway. In fact, junglers power farm more now than they've ever before. So I feel like Feral Flare could work if it just was like fine-tuned a bit. And then we have, what the hell is this machete looking thing? Isn't that Flesh Eater? No, Flesh Eater was not a finished item, so we'll not go over that one. Frozen Mallet. Only after significant change. Okay, so Rylai's is balanced under the notion that only abilities can proc it. I know some champions can proc it super easily, like Brand, Malzahar, Swain, Mordekaiser, and whatnot. But Frozen Mallet would be way too obnoxious on some champions. It was obnoxious on Gnar, Yasuo, Teemo, Kennen. What AD carry built Frozen on? I don't know. But point being, it's much easier to access Frozen Mallet than it is to access Rylai's Crystal Scepter, and if memory serves, Frozen Mallet gave like 700 health or something ridiculous. So I think that, I mean, maybe it can come back, but this is a pretty degenerate item already, and the thing with Rylai's is that it doesn't provide mana, two things that most mages need, so you're actively taking a sacrifice to build Rylai's, whereas for Frozen Mallet, you're not really. So jungle items, I actually forgot about that. I'm gonna say no, even though I was a fan of the fact that you can kind of like spec into Warrior, Cinderhulk, or all that stuff. I feel like the fact that you need to buy a jungle item, or the fact that you needed to buy a jungle item back in the day, kind of worked against most champions, and yes, that's part of the reason why jungle is kind of overpowered now, is the fact that there are no jungle items, which sort of delay a character's power spike enough to a point where they don't really get going until like much later in the game. But I think that, I just feel that jungle items are more of a good in concept, not so good in execution. Next one, Hextech GLP. We have Everfrost, but I think Hextech GLP should come back anyway. Speaking of Hextech, Gunblade needs to come back. Gunblade, people weren't a fan of Gunblade because it's a point-and-click zap that does a huge amount of magic damage. It slows you for 40% for 2 seconds, which is pretty significant for a 700 range point-and-click zap. It gave 80 ability power, 40 attack damage, and 20% Omnivamp, I think. Or no, I think before it gave 15%. The Omnivamp is really what people don't like. They don't want to give mages infinite sustain, which is what happened with a lot of champions like Akali, Diana, Katarina, LeBlanc. So, I don't know, but I liked it. I find that Hextech Gunblade was one of those items that really encouraged a specific kind of playstyle, or for like type of hyperscaling. And the fact that they took it away was definitely one of the biggest blows to the game for a group of champions I've ever seen. So it should come back, I think. Let's see here. What is this cookie again, or the heart-shaped thing? I remember, one moment. I gotta find it. Innervating Locket, that's what it is. Okay. So Innervating Locket is, I'm pretty sure it's just like this one. It's like another catalyst thing, so I don't think it should come back. Ionic Spark, this one is essentially Static Shiv, like an older version of Static Shiv, and once again, I don't think it needs to come out. I'm pretty sure this one is, the next one's going to be, whatever this turtle shell is, I forget what this one is. This one's Heart of Gold, right? Heart of Gold builds into what again? No, it doesn't build into anything. No, it does. It builds into, I believe, the old Locket and the old Randuin's. I don't think Heart of Gold needs to come back. Why is it even called Heart of Gold? It doesn't look like a Heart of Gold. Alright, next item is going to be the old Liandry's Torment. So this is pre-mythic. This is, I think, back when it gave HP instead of mana. Probably, I'm gonna say not sure, since we still have Liandry's, it's just in a different format. Lightbringer, if I remember correctly, Lightbringer was a vision item. The most recent iteration of it was that it gave 30 attack damage, 30 crit strike chance, and it had an active that summoned a mist over the target location that gave sight and revealed enemies that entered in it for a portion of time. Probably not something that AD carries would build because they don't care about vision. They don't even ward, no offense. But I think it could come back. I think for me personally, I'm a bit upset that they took away stuff like the purchasable stealth ward or Sightstone and Ruby Sightstone by extension, because I understand why they brought it in. The main reason being that they didn't want vision to be so accessible to everybody. They felt like it was like, vision or lack thereof is a crucial part of the game's mechanics, and especially in pro play, if you have a jungler with Sightstone and a support with Sightstone, you can ward pretty much the entire map, which made it almost impossible to sneak any objective. At the same time, only allowing the support to ward is kind of annoying. I feel like sometimes some support players are just not good enough at vision control, or like they need to be with someone else to get vision control, in which case you might as well just go by yourself and get vision that way. Where's the regular Sightstone? I just realized it's not here. Next item will be, let's go for this one. I'm trying to remember the name. The Pillager, this one. Okay. So Lord Van Dam's Pillager gave attack damage, cooldown reduction, and health, and it had a passive where it was a positional based passive, I think. It was for a different game. I think it was like, what's it called? The Bilgewater Bridge or whatever. So I don't think we're going to use this one because it has a unique effect to it that doesn't apply to Summoner's Rift. Next one's going to be Mallet. So Mallet is interesting. It was a weaker's version of, I believe, Wit's End and Nash's Tooth put together. It did bonus magic damage on hit, and it reduced magic resist on a target, like with every hit. So it's kind of like a weirder version of, yeah, it's like a weirder version of Wit's End and Nash's Tooth, essentially. We're gonna skip that one. And then let's go look for, man, this could be a really long video. I'm trying my best to like go through every item as quickly as I can, but maybe we should just talk about the major ones. Armwrecker, bring back with the change or two. I think Armwrecker, like Banner of Command, has a place in the game. It just needs to be executed a bit more. I think if they made it an attack damage item instead of a tank item, more champions would build it. By extension, zz'rot Portal, I want this back. I think this item was really cool for macro control. It is kind of a degen item, but screw it, I like it. It's one of those items where it really pushes a specific win condition that needs to be respected more. I don't think that Riot has done a good job kind of alienating every other or discouraging every other way to win the game except just head-on confrontation 5v5. So yeah, what can I say? I'm a top laner, spell pushing, let's go. What the heck is this item? I've never seen this one before. That one is Mirage Blade. So Mirage Blade, I think, relates to the, it's like a flash, I'm pretty sure. It gave 60 attack damage, 15 crit strike chance, 12% lifesteal, and you blinked 350 units away from the marked target. And that was the active. The basic attack applied a mark of the stance to the target, which revealed them for 3 seconds. So I think this is more of a, I'm trying to remember, I hope I'm not misinterpreting this. Is this more of like a Lee Sin kind of mark where you hit someone and then you walk away and then you just blink towards them, like it's sort of like a Z shadow type thing? I don't know, maybe that might be cool. I might put it in not sure, but you know, items that give champions mobility is kind of divisive in this community, right? We got rid of Prowler's Claw, we got rid of the Stridebreaker Dash, so maybe we shouldn't give this item or bring this item back into the game, because allowing champions to blink and gap close on targets when they normally wouldn't be able to otherwise, it can very artificially inflate a champion's like pressure level, so maybe not. Next item is going to be, let's look for one that I can actually recognize. Let's do Sword of the Occult, bring it back. Bring it back, please. It's not fair. Why did mages get Magi's, but we can't get Sword of the Occult? Yes, Sword of the Occult's kind of broken compared to Magi's due to just the nature of AD champions being very high snowbally, or like more than AP champs in my opinion, unless your name is Katarina, of course. But come on, like they can reduce the AD to give less AD scaling compared to Magi's. Like if Magi's can give, I don't know, how much was it, like 200 or 185 AP, then Sword of the Occult can cap out at 110 or something. That'd be fair, I think. Old Morella Namicon, actually. I want to go through that one. Where is it? Where the heck is it? Right here. So, the old Morella Namicon is interesting. It, how do I say? Hang on. I need to remember. Because Morella Namicon's current version is obviously the Grievous Wounds effect. But I'm pretty sure the old Morella Namicon had a different effect where it was still Grievous Wounds. It was like a mana regeneration item. Oh, no. The old Morella Namicon gave 100 AP, 400 mana, 20% cooldown reduction, and enemy champion takedowns restored mana. So it was like Presence of Mind, and it was like a first purchase item because it gave AP, mana, and cooldown reduction. It still did the Grievous Wounds effect on enemies below 35% health, but it was more of a mana item than an HP magic pen one. So I think this one, I don't know, we have a lot of AP, we have a lot of like HP AP items, but maybe having a first purchase that gives more mana sustain and can be a good answer to healing teams is something worth having. So I kind of want to bring this back. It might need to be renamed something else though. And then moving on, we have this, where is it? This thing I believe is Overlord's Bloodmail, where it was similar to Warmock's, where it gave 800 health and 10% cooldown reduction, but the effect instead was that upon scoring a takedown, you healed for 300 HP over 5 seconds. So it was like a super triumph kind of thing. I'm gonna say we can bring this back as is. This is a more on-demand Warmogs in my opinion. In fact, I feel like this should replace Warmogs. The current Warmogs is just not very practical due to fights being very burst heavy, but this can give you a bit of burst resistance. Oh no, if I remember correctly, this is the current Death's Dance passive, but on a tank item. I think it could work. I think it could come back to the game. Next item will be, trying to see here, what else do we want to look at? Where's the Brutalizer? I just realized the Brutalizer has to be somewhere. There it is. Let's bring that back, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brutalizer, best item in the game. 1337 gold, please. Yes, thank you. We can all agree. Next one will be... What the heck is this? Typhoon Claws. I think Typhoon Claws is like an Ash hue, almost, where it gave attack damage, attack speed, and movement speed, and basic attacks generated a stack of amounts 30 seconds. At 3 stacks, your next basic attack is empowered to become a flurry of 3 attacks at maximum attack speed. Oh no, wait, this is more of like an old Quincy's Rage Blade that had 3 on-hit effects for the price of 1 every so often. So it's like Master Yi's passive. I don't know, maybe, I'm gonna put it in not sure. I think this could be a very burst heavy, kind of like synergistic with Hail of Blades type item that could be good for some on-hit champions. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I want to see I guess a reality where this could be used. Perhaps not to the same extent as it should be, but you know. Sorry by the way for this being all over the place. I know I'm trying my best to be as organized as possible, but there are a lot of removed items, and then I'm trying to remember the context in which they were used, and for what the items that were here before I played the game, I'm trying to like imagine scenarios where they can be used. But again, this is all in good fun. If you're still watching up until this point, thank you so much, and I hope you continue to enjoy watching it, but I can understand why you're getting bored of this, because it is not organized at all. Righteous Glory. We have Turbo Chem Tank, so we don't need this anymore. So this one's the completed item of Mattress Racers. Mattress Blood Racer was the original Sated Devourer type item. It was actually very expensive too, it was 3,800 gold. So 40 attack damage, 40 attack speed, 25 armor, and basic attacks did % health bonus magic damage on him. So this is not the same as Blade of the Ruined King, they were a bit different. This one was just more of a tank shredding item completely, as opposed to Blade of the Ruined King being more of a duelist item. I think we should bring this back. It does, again, overlap with Blade of the Ruined King, but I think that I still feel like this could be a more definitive tank busting item rather than an on-hit build kind of thing. Let's see. Oh, this item's cool. Puppeteer. So Puppeteer, the way it works is it gives 250 health, 50% health regen, 25 magic resist, 20% cooldown reduction, and it was built off of Chalice of Harmony. Basic attacks would mark an enemy champion with a string for 6 seconds like a tether, and if you were 1,000 units away from it, it would break. When you use the item, it would pull all marked enemies up to 250 units towards you. Kind of like a Swain passive where if you root someone, he can drag him, you can pull him towards you. This could be a really cool item to have on a support. I understand that it is crowd control, and the idea of giving crowd control or hard crowd control to champion that doesn't normally have it would be kind of problematic, but we have Everfrost now. So I actually think that Puppeteer could be a decent support item to have. It could be a good follow-up, right? Like you have Thresh, right? Let's say you have Thresh where you hook them in. I might put him here actually. You have Thresh where you hook them in, pull them forward, and you can pull them forward again. So you can pull them 3 times as opposed to 2. It's a decent item. It's not too impactful, but it could definitely raise a few questions on how a support can be played. And I'm all for enhancing playstyles, not really giving them. What the heck is this Zeke's Herald, right? Or Stark's Fervor. Where was Zeke's Herald? Zeke's Herald is like down here. Oh yeah, they have like the same icon. Then I guess we'll look at Stark's Fervor instead. It is an aura item, I believe, where it gave 20% attack speed, and nearby allied champions gain 20% bonus attack speed, 30 bonus health regeneration, and 20% lifesteal, while nearby enemy champions have their armor reduced by 20. This is a very interesting item. I'm gonna put it in only after significant change, mostly because aura effects can be quite dangerous when stacked together. The reason they took away a lot of aura items was it made certain champions just too overpowered in buffing their team that it put their team at such a high statistical advantage to the point where they could be behind a fair amount of gold and still win. Aura items were really broken back in the day. Rune Gorger. Is there the Rune Gorger here, by the way? I need to find the item for it. Right here. So Rune Gorger, I think it was like a super old item. It gave attack damage, 50 AD, 40 magic resist, 16 lifesteal, and then after you took magic damage, you gained bonus AD and bonus MR for 8 seconds, which stacked up to 50 AD and 50 MR after taking 800 magic damage. This would be less of a Maw of Malmortius thing, where it's like Maw is more for burst resistance, right? This one would be more of a, this one could be more of like a duelist type, something you would build on Jax, I feel like. This would be more effective on Jax when you're fighting a Silas or a Gwen, for instance. I think this could be a good item to have because it's sort of similar to kind of like an old Fervor of Battle current Conqueror mixed with Wit's End in a way. But I think this could definitely be back into the game, maybe with a change or two. Probably not as is, and it needs to be updated a bit, but this could be a good item to have on any duelist type champion or anyone who likes to stay in battle for a long time. I would see Darius wanting to build this too. Oh well, this actually is kind of like a Force of Nature passive instead. I misinterpreted. It's not dealing damage, it's taking damage. So it's not a duelist item, it's more of a kind of an adaptive helm, force of nature type effect. But if you want to build it on a champion that's going to be in combat for a while, like once again Darius or maybe Garen, this could be pretty good. Alright, we're almost done. We'll just pick a few more items and then call it a day. Let's see. Odins Veil. This one is this item right here. Odins Veil gave 350 health, 350 mana, and 50 magic resist. It was another eternity item, or like with a catalyst of ions, or you know, whatever that eternity thing is that gives like HP versus mana or what have you. The way it worked is that it reduced all incoming magic damage taken by 10%, and you would store the mitigated damage. And then when you activated it, it dealt 200 plus 100% of the damage stored to nearby enemies, capped at 400. So it was a good counterpunch type item, and I feel like tanks could make good use of it too. It gives a healthy amount of MR, healthy amount of health, healthy amount of health, healthy amount of health, healthy amount of mana, healthy amount of HP, and healthy amount of magic resist. And it would be good for champions, especially burst heavy champions, right? Like if you're fighting Syndra or whatever, it could be a good like kind of pushback against that type of burst oriented champion. So it's not bad. I think it could come back to the game. It's a good situational utility item. Okay, there has to be like a few more major ones that I haven't talked about, because there are a lot of items here. What is the Singuin Blade? Singuin Blade is the more offensive heavy hull breaker. It can come back. There should be more than one hull breaker type item in my opinion. I'm always a fan of variants of items. Riot kind of took that away with the mythic items because they didn't want too many items that were similar to each other. But I kind of liked that. I liked that there was an HP, like, you know, I liked that there was a, we have a bruiser Grievous Wounds item, we have a mage Grievous Wounds item, we have an AD carry Grievous Wounds item, we have a tank Grievous Wounds item. I think that that practice should extend to more groups of items. I feel like there should be, similar to how we have Frozen Mallet and Rylai's, we should have stuff like that. So like a more aggressive assassin kind of hullbreaker type item, or maybe a mage hullbreaker type item, that could also be pretty good. That would make the game a bit more interesting. Of course, you know, it does lead to over-cluttering of the item system, but again, this is a fun theory crafting video. Let's just go along with it. Spellbinder. This one is where, the way it works, I think, is like every time you use an ability or an enemy champion casts an ability, you store a certain amount of charges, and then you can consume those charges to receive a very substantial AP and movement speed buff for a short time. So I think this could come back, but it does need a change or two. This could definitely be utilized again, maybe give it different base stats instead of just AP and cooldown reduction. Who knows? Or not cooldown reduction, AP and movement speed. It should have other base stats perhaps. Alright, we're almost done. Let's see, there has to be some more like major items that I haven't covered. Oh yeah, Zephyrs Ring. Oh, you guys remember this one? Oh lord. Oh my goodness, we are not bringing this back. This is a Rabadon's death cap attached to a Zonia's hourglass. Absolutely not. We are not doing this. This item is broken, and it should stay gone forever. Zephyr, bring this back. Bring it back. It was a good item. I don't know why they take this out. This is a good item. They should just keep it. I'm pretty sure this is back when, like, they have a different version of Zephyr right now, but back in the day, it used to be just attack damage, attack speed, movement speed, and crit. No, attack damage, attack speed, movement speed, crit chance. Was it crit chance or was it health? I don't remember. And then it had the Mattress tenacity effect. So I want this back. This side needs to come back. And then last one I get, or like maybe one more. Also, Wooglet's Witch Cap. This is another death cap item with Zonia's hourglass put into it. No thank you. Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker, I'm pretty sure, was the original Maul Malmortius, but instead of giving, it gave attack damage and magic resist, and I think cooldown reduction. But this one, Spellbreaker, gave crit chance, so it was more of like an AD carry kind of item. This could be a good AD carry item to have, actually, now that I think about it. You know, marksmen, they don't like building Maul because it doesn't give them crit chance or attack speed. This one gives crit chance, so it could be a good answer for mages for AD carries, and AD carries complain about every class, so they should have options, or it would probably be enough to shut them up to give them actual options. We'll do one more, because we're running kind of long. This video is going to be easily over 30 minutes long, so if I miss an item, I apologize guys. There's too many items to go over, and again, I could try making a part 2, but we'll see how this video does. Last one will be probably Twin Shadows. I want this back. Again, whether or not the game should have more access to vision comes down to the person. But I actually liked Twin Shadows and the old Frost Queen's Claim, which should be, where the hell is it? Where's Frost Queen's Claim? It should be here. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like the summons the little swimmy ghosts that go around and give vision of a certain area. Admittedly, they're pretty broken against stealth champions like Evelyn or Pike and stuff, but bring it back. I think Twin Shadows had a good place as a situational item. That was back when it worked with like the old Glacial Augment where it only worked on like slows, or rather where it only worked on items, but I think it should come back. I think Twin Shadows was a good item. It wasn't particularly overpowered, nor was it underused. It was a good item. I don't know why they took it out. Well, I know why they took it out, but I feel like they should have kept it in the game. Alright, I think that's gonna be it. Again, oh wait, no, one more. Will of the Ancients. Bring it back with the change or two. Spell Vamp type items. Will of the Ancients, it was a big loss for Vladimir and Akali, and well, not Akali, but mostly Vladimir mains. Will of the Ancients should come back. Maybe with a change or two. I don't think it should come back as is, but Will of the Ancients definitely has to come back. And I think that if they want to balance it to not be super broken for champions like Mordekaiser or, well, not Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is Riftmaker now, but Vladimir, or it really is just Vladimir, I think, or any AP champion for that matter. Maybe they can do some kind of condition to make the healing less, I guess, AFK healing heavy, but bring it back. This is another item that I think was a very, very sad day to be removed, and I want it back. But anyways, that's going to be it for today, guys. Once more, I know I keep repeating myself. I apologize that I couldn't go through every single item. I don't think this list has every item either, so like it was missing Deathfire Touch. I had to replace it with that, or Deathfire Grasp. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, whether you agree or disagree with my choices, or if there's a specific item you feel like can be brought back into the game if it was reworked in a certain way, or if you feel like some of these items should not be brought back, then feel free to share them. Aside from that, if you enjoyed the video, it would be great if you left a like and subscribed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Vars, join my Discord server, and check out my other tier list videos if you haven't yet. But till next time, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.